Hi everybody, welcome to our Tunes and Tales story time for this week. But before we get started with the story, first we want to do our welcome song. So we're just going to say hello to everybody with this. Hello, friends. Everybody ready? All right, let's sing together. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. Hello, friends. It's time to say hello. Let's do a couple of songs together before we get into the story. First of all, let's do If You're Happy and You Know It, okay? Ready? If you're happy, 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 clap your hands. If you're happy, 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 clap your hands. If you're happy, 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 clap your hands, clap your hands. If you're happy, 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 clap your hands. If you're angry, 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 stomp your feet. If you're angry, 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 stomp your feet. If you're angry, 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 stomp your feet, stomp your feet. If you're angry, 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 stomp your feet. If you're scared, 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 say oh no, oh no. If you're scared, 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 say oh no, oh no. If you're scared, 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 say oh no, say oh no. If you're scared, 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 say oh no, oh no. If you're sad, 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 cry boo-hoo. If you're sad, 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 cry boo-hoo. If you're sad, 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 cry boo-hoo, cry boo-hoo. If you're sad, 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 cry boo-hoo, boo-hoo. If you're sleepy, 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 take a nap. If you're sleepy, 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 take a nap. If you're sleepy, 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 take a nap, take a nap. If you're sleepy, 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 take a nap. If you're happy, 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 clap your hands. If you're happy, 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 clap your hands. If you're happy, 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 clap your hands, clap your hands. Happy, 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 clap your hands. All right, let's sing Old MacDonald Had a Farm. Everybody ready? Here we go. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on this farm he had a donkey, E-I-E-I-O. With a hee-haw here and a hee-haw there. Here a hee, there a haw, everywhere a hee-haw. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a dog, E-I-E-I-O. With a woof, woof here and a woof, woof there. Here, woof, there, woof, everywhere. Woof, woof. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a cat, E-I-E-I-O. With a meow meow here and a meow meow there. Here a meow, there a meow, everywhere meow meow. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. And on that farm he had a rooster, E-I-E-I-O. With a cock-a-doodle here and a cock-a-doodle there. Here a cock-a-doodle, there a cock-a-doodle, everywhere a cock-a-doodle-doo. Old MacDonald had a farm, E-I-E-I-O. Okay. Our story today is the Bremen Town Musicians. This is an old fairy tale from the Grimm brothers, and it's about 4 animals that went off to seek their fortune in Bremen Town. There's a donkey, a dog, a cat, and a rooster. All right, so let's get started. A long time ago, there was a farmer who had a donkey. And that donkey worked hard, carrying loads for the farmer back and forth from the mill and back and forth from town. And he worked hard every day of his life. But now that donkey was getting old. And he was getting tired. And sometimes the loads that he carried were lighter than before, and sometimes he just couldn't carry it at all. Well, this made the farmer angry, and he was plotting a way to get rid of the donkey. Well, the donkey sensed something was going on, and he decided that maybe it was better if he just took off on his own. And so he decided to run away. As he was going down the road thinking over his options, he decided that he was going to go to Bremen Town and become a musician. The town was known for its town musicians, and the donkey thought it was a great idea. So off he went. He was walking and walking and walking, and suddenly in the middle of the road he saw a dog. The dog was lying in the road, panting, gasping for breath. The donkey ran up and said, "Friend dog, what's the matter? You're panting and panting, and you look ever so tired. What's going on? What are you running away from?" Well, the dog said, "Well, I've grown old, and I don't want to hunt anymore. All I want to do is kind of lay on the porch. And I overheard the farmer telling his wife that he was going to shoot me. So I decided that I better take off on my own. I mean, at least I won't be dead. But now I don't know what I'm going to do. How am I going to earn my keep?" The donkey looked at the dog and said, "Well, I'm going to Bremen Town to become a town musician. Why don't you come with me? I'm going to play the banjo, and I bet you'd be a good drummer. So let's go." The dog thought it over and said, "That sounds like a good plan to me." And so off they went together. They walked down the road, and they were talking and having a good time, walking and walking, when they came across a cat. That cat looked so sad, and he was sitting in the road howling. Well, Donkey walked up and said, "Mr. Cat, what is wrong? Why are you caterwauling so? What has happened to make you so sad?" "Oh," said the cat, "I'm a dead cat. I tell you what, I heard my mistress saying that since I was too old and my teeth are falling out and I couldn't catch rats anymore, that she was going to throw me in the river and drown me. So I took off running. I didn't know what else to do. If I'd stayed there, I'd be a dead cat for sure. Now I just don't know what I'm going to do. All I've ever been was a rat catcher, and now I just don't know what I'm going to do." Well, the dog and the donkey looked at each other, and they said, "Well, friend cat, you've got a great voice. We're going to Bremen Town to be town musicians, and with your voice, I think you would fit right in with us. So why don't you come with us?" And the cat said, "Well, I sure ain't staying here to be drowned in the river. So sure, let's go." So off they went, the three of them, walking down the road, talking and making their plans to be town musicians in Bremen Town. Well, as they got further down the road, they passed by a farm, and sitting on the fence was a rooster, and he was crowing and crowing and crowing. It was the loudest sound they had ever heard, and they looked at him and said, "Hey, friend rooster, why are you crowing so? What's going on?" And the rooster said, "I'm crowing and crowing because tomorrow they're going to put me in soup and eat me. So this is my last day. I've got to just crow and crow. I overheard the mistress talking to the cook saying that they have company coming tomorrow and they're going to put me in the stew. So what else can I do?" Well, the three other animals looked at each other and said, "We'd like you to come with us. We're going to Bremen Town. We're going to be town musicians. And you could come along with us. Why, you have a fine crow and you would sound great singing along with us." The rooster looked around and said, "Well, what have I got to lose except my head? Sure, I'll come with you." And so off they went. Well, Bremen Town was pretty far away, and they weren't going to make it in a day. As dark started to fall, they decided to find somewhere to rest. They went into the forest and found a nice tree. The donkey and the dog laid down in the shade of the tree. The cat was more comfortable up in the limbs of the tree, so he climbed up the branches and laid down. And then the rooster felt safer at the very top of the tree, so he flew up to the top. Well, as he was settling down, getting ready to roost for the night, he looked out over the horizon and he thought he saw a spark. He looked and he looked and he thought, I think there's a house over there. I see a light. So he flew down and he told his friends, he said, I think there's a house over there. And I hear thunder rumbling. Maybe we better get out of the forest and find a place to sleep for the night. And if there's a house over there, maybe we can go stay there. Maybe there's a place for me to roost. And the donkey said, and maybe there's some hay that I could eat. And the dog said, and maybe there's a bone that I could chew on. And the cat said, and maybe there's a little cup of milk I could have. So off they went, heading toward the light that they saw in the forest. They walked and walked and walked, and as they got closer, they could see a small house. And there was a bright light shining in the window. The donkey was the tallest, so he walked up and looked in the window. What do you see? What do you see? Said the others. The donkey turned around and he said, I'll tell you what I see. We have come upon a gang of robbers, and they're sitting in there counting out all their money. And the table is spread with all kinds of delicious food. And then there's all their money sitting on the table. And the robbers are sitting there eating and drinking and counting their money. Oh, what can we do? We want some of that food. I have an idea, said the donkey. And so they all decided what they would do. The donkey would go to the window and put his hoofs up on the windowsill. The dog would climb up on the donkey's back. And then the cat would climb up onto the dog's back. And then the rooster would be on top of the cat. And then all together, they would start singing their song. The donkey would be hee-hawing, the dog would be barking, the cat would be meowing, and the rooster would be crowing. And they hoped that if they made all that noise, that it would scare the robbers and they would leave the house. So that's exactly what they did. Donkey put his hooves up on the windowsill, and dog climbed up, and the cat climbed up, and then the rooster climbed up, and they started making their noise. Well, the robbers didn't know what was going on. And then the donkeys and all the others crashed through the window. Well, those robbers took off. They thought that that house was haunted. Off they ran into the woods. Well, our four friends just walked right inside and started helping themselves to the food and all the stuff that was on the table. And they ate and they ate and they ate until they were stuffed. They decided that they would spend the night in the house. So they blew out the candles, and each of them found a space to curl up and go to sleep. The cat curled up near the fireplace where the embers in the fire were still kind of warm. The dog slept over by the door. The donkey found a big patch of hay in the yard, and that's where he laid down. And the rooster flew up to the top of the house and went to sleep in the eaves. Well, out in the woods, the robbers were talking amongst themselves. I can't believe we left all of our money and all of our food because we were scared. There's no such thing as ghosts. One of us has to go back to that house and see what's going on. Well, they picked out one poor unfortunate robber and told him he was the one that was going to have to go back to the house. And so he went through the woods, came back upon the house, and he walked quietly inside. It was dark. He found a candle and was looking around trying to find a match to light it. And he saw something glowing over in the fireplace, so he thought it was embers of the fire. He took his candle and held it down to try to catch the candle on fire. And you know what he was sticking the candle to? It was that cat's eyes. Oh, that cat hissed and growled and swiped across his face with claws. That robber jumped up and squealed and ran toward the door. Well, at the door, he stepped on the dog's tail, and the dog jumped up and bit him on the leg. The man howled and ran out the door and tripped over the donkey. Well, the donkey, startled, jumped up and kicked the man. And then the rooster, hearing all the commotion, woke up and started crowing up on top of the house, saying, cock-a-doodle-doo, cock-a-doodle-doo. Well, that robber took off, flying through the woods. He ran to his friends and he said, guys, we are not going back to that house. Not only is the house haunted, there's a witch that lives there. Look, she scratched me all over my face and spat at me. And then as I was running out the door, there was a man at the door with a knife and he stabbed me in the leg. And then I ran out in the yard and there was another man there with a club. And he hit me with his club. And up on the roof was the judge. And he was saying, throw him up to me, guys, throw him up to me. We better take off and get far, far away from here. I'm not going back to that house. The robbers were all terrified and they ran away and they never went back to that house again, which was just fine for the Bremen Town Musicians because they decided that they liked that house pretty well and they had all that money and there was food and they didn't have to go into town and be musicians after all because they had a fortune right there in the house. And that's where they lived happily ever after. What do you think of that? That was a pretty cool story, wasn't it? I love listening to the old fairy tales because they're classic and fun, and that was one of my favorites when I was a kid. I thought it was so cool that these animals could do all these things, and I love the stories where the animals could talk. It was pretty cool. All right, well now we're going to say goodbye to all our friends. We thank you for joining us. Now let's get our friends back together here and let's sing goodbye. Ready? Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. Goodbye, friends. It's time to say goodbye. See y'all next time.